now joined by today's Busch Light pole winner here at Pocono Raceway. That's Denny Hamlin, driver number 11, Joe Gibbs Racing Toyota. If you have a question for Denny, please raise your hand and we'll get a mic to you. We'll start here with Adam.
I'm John Brumer, Sports Today. First off, congrats on the pole, Denny.
Thank you.
So clearly you're picking up right where you left off at Michigan, and it's never easy leaving a newborn, obviously. So mentally, just where you're at, how do you push that all aside and just be able to continue running at such a high level that you are, and to be able to bring that into tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean, truthfully, I'm on a run. I mean, I don't know how else to say it, but it's like everything's going really well right now. On, off the track, everything. It's just things are going good, and you know that inevitably it's not going to just keep being a bunch of ones, but right now it is.
Well, if you win here, I believe you'll be the first driver in history to miss a race and win right again. So best of luck this weekend.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, we'll go to Reed and then Dustin and Dustin.
Reed Spencer with the NASCAR Wire. I remember you were saying a few years ago that with the repave of the grip strip in 2008 and then the complete repave in 2012, that they had sort of taken the nuances that you knew out of this track, but then here again you've won 3 of the last 8 and the pole today. So have you refound some stuff that you know here now?
If you look back in notes, or else you have an amazing memory. That is pretty true. I remember when they did repave, I felt like I'd lost kind of the advantage. It was when the track was worn out. There was things that I could do really kind of in turn 1 and turn 3 that others didn't do as well. And when they repaved it, just made grip everywhere and it made everyone run the same line. Yes, as this track has aged, we're starting to moving around again, and there's little nuances that is starting to, there's advantages to be had. So yeah, I do feel like it's starting to get back to that.
Dustin Lomino, JSK. Denny, how did you feel about the car and racetrack?
Not great, truthfully. I was very surprised about the big balance change. Obviously, I ran as fast as I could in practice, but that I think we were 26 or something like that. But what was encouraging also is that we ran our fastest lap, I think on lap 16 or something. So we had some capability to it. We knew we could make it better in the short run. You shouldn't be running your fastest lap on lap 16. So there was room to be had, and I told them what I needed, and then obviously I know how to drive around the track, and they gave me exactly what I asked for.
Dustin Long, NBC Sports. Do you know what the issue was with the 23 car? Why he couldn't get
starter? Another starter issue.
Another starter for you guys this year?
Well, I should say another. It's been an issue with lots of cars.
He was second quick in practice. William Byron the quickest in practice crashes. So those 2 cars are at the back of the field. Obviously, I know there's more drivers out there. There's more competitors. What does it mean to have, I guess, potentially 2 of the stronger cars starting in the back of the field?
Yeah, I mean, there's opportunities. There'll be opportunities for them to do some strategy stuff to kind of get track position. Nothing is free. Usually that comes at a cost of where you're going to have to run on older tires at some point, so you won't be at an advantage. But it makes it hard. This track is, similar to Indy, not quite as hard as Indy to pass, but it's very, very difficult, and so they're going to have to be really, really patient, and it's going to take a while. They're obviously probably going to miss out on some stage points and things like that. So it's just, it's the way the brakes go. It stinks. I know it does, but certainly for us, we feel like we're in a good spot. I just got to execute good restarts, don't mess up on pit road, do my job, and we should be fine. Yeah.
Look, I know Bubba's like 13th in the playoff spot, but I think realistically, both of us probably expect that cut line to move up. So when he's now in a position where, like you say, may miss out on stage points, and I know there are other races where he can win in, what does this do for this 23 team in terms of playoff sense?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you can get too panicked about it, right? You can't change it, right? It's not something that, if you're Bubba Wallace, it's not something that you did. I'm confident that it's not something that the team did. It's just, it's one of those mechanical things that just the anvil fell on you this time. And that story happens to others as well. It's not just, it's very easy for drivers or teams to really kind of get down about their bad luck, but everyone has it. And so it kind of usually washes itself out over time. And so I wouldn't be too panicked. I think they're running fast enough to be a playoff car. And a lot of that is going to depend on who jumps up. That's in the wild card races over the next 10. But I feel confident that 23 team will be part of it.
Hey, Spencer, Sirius XM NASCAR Radio and CatchFence.com. I'm sorry I didn't hear the beginning of Dustin's question, but given the mechanical woes that you had last month and then what happened to Bubba, power steering, I believe, with Bell, is there a quality control issue going on right now with Toyota, because there seems to be more failures than usual?
It is more than usual, and it's something that everyone's really looking into. I mean, the easy answer is yes, but it's not that easy. I'm not. There's issues. I just don't know if it's quality control. I don't know if it's parts or it's if it's the operation of how you're putting it all together. I don't know. But certainly they're putting a lot of resources to figuring out what these issues are, because it's certainly hurt the 20 car in practice today, and obviously the 23 in qualifying.
Ryan Weaver from Five Love Racing. Denny, first, congratulations to you and Jordan on the birth of your son. Second, congratulations on the pole. Your 11 car has found victory lane here, the most in track history, including sweeping your rookie season. What does Pocono Raceway mean to you? And now with the pole, how's your confidence level coming into the race tomorrow at a track you've had so much success at? You're seemingly making this place your playground.
Well, I'll be honest, if you would have asked me probably an hour ago, I probably wasn't going to be very confident. I thought that as far off as the balance was in practice, that I set my goals to let's try to get a top 10 qualifying effort. If I can do that, they make some adjustments overnight, I'm back in the game. If I had a poor qualifying effort, well, that was just going to make my balance even worse. Because the further you get to the back, the worse the balance is going to be, no matter how good your car is. So I thought the task was going to be to get another win. Was going to need to be qualifying the top 15. I think that was going to be the key for us. But obviously now that we're first, now it's about, okay, let's focus on the details, execute well, make sure we match that balance in race trim, and we should be fine.
Thank you very much. Best luck.
We're gonna come right here. Yep.
SamuelStubbsYardMarker.com. Denny, no JGR cars in the top 10 in practice. All four of y'all and Reddick in the top 10 in qualifying. Was this a situation where the cars were just set up for qualifying and trimmed out, and you're going to try to fix it for race trim, or was there maybe something more wrong in race trim than you realized?
Yeah, good question. It actually, we all missed it, with our simulation and whatnot. Probably this week we all work around the same thing, and then when we show up and they were able to work off of me since I was in the first group, so they saw that my balance was off, and so they were able to make some adjustments for that Group B practice, but it wasn't quite enough. They needed really the more time, which was the time between qualifying or practice and qualifying, to get it to where the balance where it needed to be. So I'm confident that everyone's going to be better now.
We have time for one last question. Go ahead.
Mr. Smith from the Pocono Record. Denny, similar to the question I was asked earlier, when you have so much success in a particular place, it changes from a goal more to extent that's common with any athlete. How do you make sure you're still competitive every single time you come to the triangle to make sure, hey, just because I won here recently or finished well, that I don't just become complacent with what I've already done?
I study every racetrack and every week like I've never won there. That's just the way I've always done things, and it's the way that I feel like it's allowed me to adapt to so many different cars and things that when the racetracks changes or the same, like you got to be able to adapt. And so I treat Pocono like I've never won. I study just like I need to. I'll go out there and I'll study other drivers that have never even won at this racetrack, but they'll do something that I notice that is fast, and then so can I piece together, for instance, William Byron's his corner entry, and maybe I study Kyle Larson's corner exits, and I try to put all that together and create my own style.
Well, Denny, congratulations and good luck tomorrow.
Yep.